We were live earlier today and we were talking a little bit about what was going on with Douglas Wigdor, Cassie's lawyer, okay? The one that's basically was with her throughout the civil lawsuit with Diddy, okay? Now, here's the deal, guys. Douglas Wigdor has yet submitted another letter to the judge. Yesterday he submitted a letter basically saying that, he was not in support of the major news outlet releasing any of Cassie's sex videos. He was not in support of that. So he wrote a letter about that. We reviewed it and some of you guys watched it and let me know. Some of you guys felt like in order for there to be transparency, this is what you guys said, not me, that there really should all of these videos should really be released. Um I don't know if I agree with that. And the judge seems to be, I don't know where he lands with this exactly because he hasn't quite made a ruling, but this is kind of where we're at right now. So then Douglas Wigdor submits another letter. And basically, it's like requesting the court, listen, I'm here to support my client, Cassie Ventura. And, he basically wants to show that he supports her and continue to advocate for her through this criminal trial. He wants to be able to advise her without breaking any ethical rules and stuff like that. So, I mean, Douglas Wigdor was clearly there in one of those wooden pews watching Cassie testify. Okay, and I'm assuming it was a wooden pew. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I'm thinking that that's what it was. And so he's kind of wanting to be there for his client. And I'm kind of wondering why he can't be. But some of you guys have felt like, well, maybe he would be coaching her. I'm not really sure how, but I am interested to know about your guys' thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. These are updates that are happening late at night because these lawyers are working late at night and we have to drop these videos around that time. This is what we discussed earlier in our recap and update of this trial. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So this is a letter to the judge, Douglas Wigdor. Douglas Wigdor is Cassie's attorney. Okay, so last night, Douglas Wigdor wrote a letter to the judge and basically said, guys, the judge specifically, the news media is trying to get a hold of the sex tapes of Cassie and others. The media, the news organizations, ABC, NBC, CBS, all these people wrote a letter to the judge and basically appealed, this argument. Basically said like, hey, this is about a First Amendment. This guy is a cultural icon, and the public urges us to see these sex tapes. Okay, there, Agnifla wants the video evidence of Diddy and Cassie's sexual encounters to be sealed. Okay. So do the feds. But the judge says public has the right to see what the jury sees. No decision yet. Okay. This is where we left. This was early in the morning and I did a video. Could the judge say, yeah, the public has a right and kind of go with what the news organizations wrote a letter about? They said that, hey, this is a public interest. We need to see. Some of you guys in the comments that feel like, and this is your argument completely. I don't agree, but this is your argument. You said, hey, this is about transparency. Okay, like let the information go out. This is about transparency. Some people feel like this is about transparency and allowing this to be out there would be okay. The Diddy judge is not looking sympathetic to sealing the video evidence of sexual activity, even though they're wanting to seal it. So this is going to be interesting how this goes. I want to know how this ends and everything. You said it's a stretch to argue First Amendment right for the public to see sex tapes because they involve a public figure. This is a stretch. No way. This is interesting. I'm a little. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Okay. So Wigdor submits a letter, which is literally what he just submitted. I told you everybody's working late. Wigdor says, "Dear Judge, we write as counsel for Cassandra Miss Ventura. We understand that the conclusion of the government's direct examination of our client, counsel for defendant Combs, will be making an application to the court request that Miss Ventura be prohibited from consulting with us, her personal attorneys. For the reasons set forward below, we respectfully request that the anticipated application be denied. As initial matter, the relevant law is set forth in Garrett's versus United States. They cite case law, so they're citing that. explaining that the evaluation of whether a witness testimony would be impacted by consultation with counsel is within the judge's discretion. Such concerns are not relevant here. Wigdor, LLP, will of course abide by the rules of the professional conduct governing all attorneys and has no intention of influencing Ms. Ventura's testimony in this matter or otherwise engaging in unethical behavior, such as witness coaching, which is interesting because people did say, and people, I don't know, like, I don't, people were saying, oh, she's been coached. How? I don't know. She's answering the questions. I don't know. People that at least don't feel like Cassie Ventura is what's the word? Is not a victim, right? There are people out there that feel that. And then people were saying in the comments, she's been coached. What do you mean she's been coached? I guess I give me examples of that. If you're saying that she's been coached, and if you're watching this, give me examples of what you mean that she's been coached. What exactly led you to come to that conclusion? Give me a specific thought process. You're not in the room, neither am I. So what led you to believe that she's been coached? She's recounting pretty heavy stuff. What led you to believe that she's were coached? That is the question that I have. Okay. It's the question. All right. Okay. So furthermore, Miss Ventura should be permitted to continue to speak to her private civil attorneys on a number of important issues present here. For example, the logistics of arriving at and appearing in court, particularly considering the high publicity surrounding her testimony, her health and well-being as a victim, especially in light of her advanced pregnancy, the extent to which what she is sharing on the stand implicates matters covered by attorney-client privilege in any testimony concerning the civil lawsuit and settlement in which Wigdor LLP represents her. Finally, but crucially, in the unique circumstances of this prosecution and Ms. Ventura's participation in this case, we respectfully submit that she be afforded the opportunity to consult with her private attorneys in order for her to be treated with fairness and with respect for the victim's dignity and privacy as required under the Crime Victims Right Act of 18 USC something something more numbers. We thank the court for this time and attention to this matter. So Douglas H. Wigdor. What do you guys think? How can they deny Cassie from meeting with her attorneys for tangible reasons? The fact that he has to write a letter? That's a great question. But you know that the defense is going to make us think. Even the government might. You know what I mean? So Douglas Wigdor, I always say Windor, but it's Wigdor. Douglas Wigdor is like in here saying, like, hey, listen, we got to be able to meet with her, which I'm down. I think it's important. If they're there to support, they're advocates for her. They were there when all of this went down. I would want my attorney. I would. And I hope that, I mean, the judge seems pretty fair. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how this goes. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning. Let me know what you think.